Oh, I hope I got all the information right about this brewery then. Can't really say in that light. Who's this by? Oh my god! Hi guys, so we've made it past the halfway point of Oktoberfest week here on the channel. I have already reviewed this beer, so links down below, but we're going over to the Löwenbräu Oktoberfestbier, who are part of, it's like a, I think it's like a Franziskaner, Spaten and Löwenbräu in a partnership. I can't remember specifically, but yeah, it's an AB-InBev product. What was that? I'm sure people will be shaking their fists already. So yeah, Löwenbräu Oktoberfestbier. Clocking in at, where is the ABV? 6.1%. So it's again another little bit of a heavier brew. And I think again this is one of the main beers at the Oktoberfest. And yeah, one thing is for certain, the artwork is really nice. I mean, you know, it's got a busty blonde on there, carrying beer. What else do you really need? Nice label on the neck, and there is a really nice little crown. If I remember correctly, I wasn't too impressed when I first tried this. But the great thing about revisiting beers later on is you don't know how much your palate's changed or how your preferences have changed. So I might even get a completely different experience with this beer. And yes, I'm looking forward to it because again, a litre of beer. So we've got 2 bottles. Without any further ado, let's get this beer opened and see what we get. Cap came off really nice and easily then, not too much in terms of smoke, but yeah, let's pour it in. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. Who knows, I might do this again next year. I don't know, how many times can you potentially review the same beers though? But yeah, it's not just about like the Oktoberfest or anything like that. Spilt beer on my shorts, good job. It's also, you know, promoting traditional German beer, which I am about here on the channel, being situated in Germany of course. And I've said it plenty of times, as much as I love craft beer, you can't go wrong with 99% of the traditional, whether it be macro or like family run breweries, you can't go wrong with some of the beers that you get. And I've had a very positive drinking experience being here in Germany. Let me tell you, especially with all this stuff being so widely available in supermarkets for a great price. So yeah, anyway, let's see how this beer turns out then. Loads of fizz there. So, and don't worry, there won't be any more AB-InBev jokes because I don't want to alienate potential viewers, even though I think most of you are adults and you don't really care. So beer in a glass then, and that is, it's a little bit paler than some of the ones we've had so far. Maybe got a little bit more of a slight roasted tinge to it, but it does look, for all intents and purposes, like a Helles beer. It's still a pretty looking beer. Lovely amounts of carbonation, nice clarity. The head dissipated really quickly, it's just a lining of white foamy soapy goodness. And yeah, I've been so used with the last 2 beers having like a massive head that it fills the glass, but yeah, it still looks like a really damn good drink. So let's get the aroma then. A little bit of a grain sort of character. Just smells to me like a Helles beer, like a pretty standard, traditionally brewed German lager. A little bit of a leafy character, sort of like a salad leaf almost. But yeah, there's really not much going on with this beer in terms of the aroma. which is good because you don't get any offensive tones, and you know, that can put a lot of people off from what could be really good beers. So yeah, it smells very simple, looks very simple, if a beer can look simple. So let's see how it tastes. Prost. Just like the appearance and the aroma, this to me tastes pretty much like your standard high quality traditionally brewed Helles beer, albeit with a nice sort of hoppiness in there, like a nice peppery sort of just interrupt myself while I'm talking, just like a sort of like peppery herbaceous like hop character. Carbonation is a little bit aggressive. The body is a little bit lighter than I expected it to be. But that being said, for such a high, is it such high ABV beer really? Very drinkable. You would not think that that was a 6.1% beer. And that means you could drink a hell of a lot of this and potentially get yourself into a little bit of trouble. But isn't that what drinking beer is all about really? Nice and earthy though, and it's got a real, you can really taste like the barley in there, almost like an earthy lentil character maybe. Yeah, finishes nice and bitter. It's a little bit more bitter than the other beers that I've had this week, and it does finish a little bit dry on the palate. My tongue's a little bit dry now after drinking this. It's a very inoffensive beer. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with this one. But if you're ever getting into the style, you're either going to experience two things with this beer. It's either going to put you off because there's not much happening, or it's going to make you want to go and try another style, or another example of the style I should say. So it's a really good sort of gateway beer. And not only for Oktoberfest beers, but also fest beers in general. It's just very simple, and that can work in its favour. But for me personally, I want maybe a little bit more. I mean, at 6.1%, I probably wouldn't session this anyway. I mean, 2 bottles at 500ml is, you know, it's going to get me merry enough. Yeah, if you're sat outside in the heat, gulping this down, and just eating pretzels and stuff like that, you're going to find yourself in a whole world of shit. But you might be wanting that, so have at it. In the supermarkets, quite widely available, decently priced. You can't knock the price of really any of these beers so far, even the Löwenbräu one, which was a little bit expensive in context, but on its own, you see that price figure. That's 500ml of German like organic beer. You're not going to complain. And yeah, so if you find yourself in Germany from, I'd say, the mid part of July up until and after Oktoberfest, you know, you've got a nice little range of celebratory fest beers to experience, and you know, you can buy quite a few and it's not going to affect the bank balance too much. From a drinkability point, spot on. Flavour wise, that's probably the only thing that's really knocking it. That and the fact that it may be a little bit too thin and a bit too carbonated for my tastes. But aside from that, it's a much more better beer than I remember initially. So I'm actually quite glad that I revisited this one, because that's what it's all about really. I'm not a sommelier, I'm not, you know, recognised by anyone or anything like that. So me doing these reviews it's actually more beneficial for me than it is for people watching these videos, to be honest, because every beer that I drink, I take something back from it and I might learn something from it. So yeah, not a bad drinking experience at all, but it's definitely not gonna set the world ablaze, and it's definitely not one of the better ones I've had this year. Aside from that, no arguments. So a very modest 7 out of 10. And yeah, if you've tried this one, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Have you tried any of the other Löwenbräu beers, especially the ones that are brewed in America? I'd like to hear your feedback on those. I know some people are a little bit, they're saying that they've got off tastes, the American brewed stuff. Check out Löwenbräu. I think I've got a few more reviews of those down below, so check out that playlist. Check out the Oktoberfest playlist. Of course, check out the previous videos from this week. Let me know your thoughts, opinions on the beer. Let me know your thoughts, opinions on Oktoberfest. Are you going this year? That sort of thing. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I say this with hand on heart, I actually have no idea what tomorrow's beer will be, or when I will actually be able to get hold of one. So fingers crossed. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you later. Cheers! AB-InBev. I praised an AB-InBev beer and nothing happened. Happy days. Macro-apologists, AB-InBev. Macro-apologists, AB-InBev. Macro-apologists, AB-InBev. Macro-apologists, AB-InBev. Macro-apologists, AB-InBev. Oh my god!
Wow!
Acting.